All right, so I'm a little bit late when it, but obviously for the Japanese version of Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade, we have a brand new green SSR Kasumi, and jumping over here on the JJK wiki tier list, they have her all the way down in A tier. So, do I agree with that? Well, let's find out because I actually have no idea what she does. I have a rough idea. I did a quick little glance uh, prior to this, and I wasn't really able to formulate. So now we're really going to just dive into it and just give my overall opinions if they are wrong and if she is actually going to be a very valuable character forward. So first and foremost, with her being a green type character, if we jump back over here and looking at like green characters, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters ahead of her. So she has a lot of competition. So let's go ahead and just see what she does. So her first skill is it's going to be dealing melee taijutsu damage to a single enemy, and it states that if you are in your counter stance when this skill is activated, you can increase your own battle count by 3, and after the skill is used, cancels your own counter stance. Simple domain state. Domain. So the skill 2 is going to be the domain. It looks like it's going to increase your own taijutsu damage by 20% for 2 turns. Very good. It's going to activate your counter stance for 2 turns, and it's going to activate your simple domain state. Then additionally, if your battle count is 15 or above when it is activated, after applying the taijutsu damage increase, it's going to deal 300% of melee taijutsu damage to all enemies, which is actually really good. Then additionally is that with the counter stance, activates up to 1 time during the turn. When targeted by an enemy's attack, you're going to be dealing obviously the melee taijutsu damage multiplied by a certain amount depending on your battle count. If you are below 10, it's going to be dealing 200% of the battle count, and then if you are 10 or above, it's going to be dealing to, okay, so it's just 200% regardless, depending on the battle count, which honestly I don't know why. I don't know if this is a typo or not. It seems I just don't understand why the damage is regardless. So the skill 3 is so she's a taijutsu damage character is what I'm at. It's gonna be a lot of melee taijutsu damage to a single enemy for hits. It's gonna increase your own critical hit rate by 20% for 2 turns. I really like that because that also allows your counters to do a lot of damage if you have that critical hit rate up. It's gonna increase your battle count by 2, and then once the skill is used, it's gonna cancel your counter state and your simple domain state, and then depending on your battle count, if it's 10 or above when it's activated, decrease your own counter stance, or it's going to activate your own counter stance for turns and activate your state. So it seems as if the domain state is going to be active unless you activate skill 1 or skill 2. So if you just keep activating skill 2, you're just always going to have the domain state active, which is going to allowing you to counter, right? So I think that's pretty good. And then additionally, that if the counter state is up, activates upon 1 time during turn, obviously it's attack, so it has the exact same thing. You're going to be dealing 200 of 100% of taijutsu as counter damage to attacking enemy. Since the ultimate is a boatload of melee taijutsu damage to selected times. It's going to attract the enemy's selected targets 1 time for 1 turn. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that actually could be a little bit more turns and more times. I get it, it's like a provoking thing, but the term and length, honestly, this could be increased in my opinion. Also, it's going to increase her own taijutsu damage by 20% for 3 turns. Very good. The counter state is going to be activated for turns. The simple domain state is going to be activated. It's going to increase your own battle count by 3. And then it's got the counter state active there. We're going to skip the combo effect. Now, the auto skills. I am fully aware that she has a boatload of auto skills. So the counter battle is while the counter state is active, when targeted by an enemy's attack, so that sucks. It doesn't state Jutsu attacks, it's only melee attacks, so it really drops her value down. You're going to be dealing your taijutsu damage up count. Damage multiplier differs based on skill. Sense. Again, it sucks that it's just jutsu damage and not or it's just taijutsu damage, not jutsu damage, which I do think actually hits her viability by quite a bit. Next up, the simple domain is while your domain is activated, it applies the following effect to yourself. Decrease your own jutsu damage by 20%. Yeah, that's nice. Nullifies effects, applies from enemies' domain expansions. That is very good. I do like that. So like Jogo won't get his domain off. I can't think of any other characters off the top of my head who activate domain besides Jogo. But so that I do think this aspect of it right here is valuable. But so far everything else I'm not very impressed. The Bato sword drawing is at the start of the turn. You're gonna get a stack of the Bato count, and then depending on the amount of Bato counts you have, it's going to apply various effects, right? So if you have 1 or more, you're going to increase your own taijutsu damage by 11%, and then if you have 4 or more, it's going to increase your own ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 14%. 18 or above increases your own critical hit damage by 50%. 24 and above, it's going to increase your own cursed energy consumption efficiency. So you are going to be able to get every single one of these at 24 Bato counts. So it's okay. It's not the greatest. Again, the higher your own Bato count is, the higher the taijutsu damage and skill gauge charge rate will increase. For every 1 Bato count increases by 1%, maximum increase at 40 Bato count. So the cap is at 40. So that's good to know that there's a cap. Next up is the I love my relationship with everyone right now. It's going to increase your own damage dealt, the special, by 1 turn. And then the more characters with the Kyoto Jujutsu High students affiliation are present on the team, it's going to have a greater increase for yourself. 1, it's going to be 20, 2, 30, 3 is going to be 40, 4 is going to be... I'm very underwhelmed by this character. Honestly, I definitely think this is a hard pass. She is definitely not worth it. So it kind of makes sense. You know, we're still coming off the heels of Sukuna, and it's very hard to follow up a character such as him with another hyped character without it being like a major celebration or a hyped character. So this allows an opportunity for players to skip and save up their cubes, which is personally what I am doing, because I have no interest in this character. I like I said, I have green Gojo, so I have a better green DPS character just to begin with. I just don't think she is worth it for anyone's account, to be completely honest.